Welcome to the University of Florida's Construction ACC webinars, Episode 1, Contracts, Fee Schedules, Schedule of Values, and Pay Apps.
So I have two contracts created here in ACC Cost, one for the design firm and one for the CM firm. I have gone in and allocated all of the appropriate budget categories to that contract. The schedule of value is 0, and I need to send this out to the firm in order for them to fill in the schedule of values. So I'm going to do that by clicking on the contract and clicking on Request Supplier Input. This will send my architect or my design firm an email asking them to please create the schedule of values. So click Send. They should get that email and they will be able to come in and submit that on their own as soon as it gets processed through. I'm going to do the same thing with our CM contract. Again, making sure that the supplier and general contact are filled out correctly and clicking Request Supplier Input.
So now as your designer, I have also received an email from Jody requesting my schedule of values. I will come in here and click this Open in Cost Management, which will bring me directly to my contract. It opens up with this slider bar here to the right. Now, if we scroll down, we'll see the schedule of value section here. We can type in our value right onto this screen, or in order to be able to see the title of this line item, you can click View in Full Page and it'll bring it here. Remember, when you are inputting your value, you are going to put it under the amount section so that way it calculates it at the top here. So now what I did was I went ahead and I filled this out, putting my schedule of values here in the amount section. We can see it will automatically show the unit cost and that there's one of them. You do not have to adjust these two, leave those be. This is the final amount that I'm looking for. So after this, I'll go back to the contract up here. It'll show me the original and the total. I'm going to click on the name of the contract, go to respond, and then from here, I can add my note. We can see that my schedule of values is down here as well. Now, after I verified that my schedule of values here is correct, I will add my document. I can upload from my computer. And then while that is uploading, I can let Jody know that my schedule of values has been uploaded. Up to the top, and then we'll hit submit. And then this will put as awaiting review. So now it is on the UFPDC side to review and accept or send it back to for revisions.
Okay, so now I have received an invitation from Jody through ACC to participate in this project and to give her some more information about my schedule of values and my contract. So I'll open that link in my email. It'll take me directly to the cost management site for this project. And I can see here that it's pending supplier input. And so as the supplier, I'm going to give more information about schedule values and maybe attach some compliance required documents. So I can also attach any references from things that have happened in other modules, and I can attach more information besides those required documents if necessary. So scopes of work or other secondary information. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click respond. And this is the page that it brings me to for responding. You can see here that I could type in a small scope of work description if that's necessary. And I can also hit this same place, go ahead and upload any supporting documentation that's needed for this project. So I'll go ahead and attach my PMP bond. And then the next thing that I'm going to do is come up to this little section where it says import schedule of values, and don't download the template at the bottom. Use the cost codes that Jody has assigned to me as the contractor for this project. So I can see that there's a number of things here that I'd be able to provide information for. So I'm going to click import schedule of values. And first I'm going to export this information into an Excel file that I can fill out. So once that's downloaded, I can pull it up and I can see that all of those cost codes are once again available, and I'm going to fill out the amounts section with that information. Once I have placed those amounts that are related to those cost codes into this section, I am going to close that document, and then I'm going to come back to this same area where I can import an Excel file. Click to open that value and then click import. And now you can see that my schedule of values is present. Once I've cross-checked and made sure that the information is correct, scroll down to the bottom and I can let Jody know that this is the schedule of values that we discussed in our last email thread or in the last meeting that we were in. And then I can click submit. And now my contract is awaiting review from the UFPM.
So once you have submitted your schedule of values, the UF project manager can review the schedule of values that have been submitted along with whatever backup documentation. So they can come in here and see everything that the vendor has provided. If they need to see, again, that schedule of values in a full page, they click view on full page and you can see all of the details. It will calculate the total amount for them. They come back here to contract and click again, once again on the contract and scroll all the way down. They can see any scope of work that have been provided, the compliance requirements that have been uploaded, as well as any backup documentation that may have been uploaded. They can review that, and as long as they are happy with it, they can send it through the approval process. If they need to request a change to any of this information, they can click request revision. When they do that, it will notify the contractor or the supplier. So they put in a comment as to what needs to be changed and click request revision, and that will send that back to the contractor to update. In this case, we're just going to click send to start the workflow as the UF project manager. And you can see when that happens, it is going to send the first person in the workflow an email letting them know that they need to review and approve that. So you can see where the contract is at in the overall workflow approval process. Through these little dots up here, you can see what's happened so far and who needs to approve it next. If you hover over the little dot, it will tell you the role that needs to approve it and then the person that currently has that role for this project. The issuance of the purchase order should be the vendor's notification to proceed. The ACC contract will receive the final execution after the purchase order has been issued, so you can consider the UF purchase order notification that you receive from MyUF Market as your notice to proceed. The design has been underway on this project for a few months, and 2 invoices have been received and paid. The design firm has executed an ASA for additional deliverables and is ready to submit a 3rd invoice incorporating the ASA.
All right. So now you can see we have two pay apps in here. I'm going to enter a third pay app now. So what we're going to do is we're going to come up here to this button, Create, select Contract. We're going to select the contract that we're wanting to bill against. So for us, it's this Apple Design contract. Now we already have dates in place. So we're just going to select the correct one and then create payment application. From here, we can see our schedule of values. We can see what's already taken place right here under total work completed. And now we're going to add some new ones. Now we can do this one of two ways. We can enter in the percentage of the work that was completed, or we can enter in how much we are billing against. So we are going to say that we are billing 50% of these 100% docs. So we'll just type in 50 here, and then it automatically reflects 50% of our total value. Then we're also going to bill this construction phase administration, the entire amount here. And then you can see that it also shows that we're doing 100% of this. We also want to add in that ASA that we spoke about earlier. So we're going to click Add Change Order. You're going to pull this drop down, and this is the only ASA that we have. So we're going to select this one and click Add. Now this is going to show at the very bottom of our screen. You're going to have to open it up here. But this shows that we have an ASA for a specialty consult. We also want to bill against this. And we're going to do it the same exact way. We're going to say that our consultant is billing us for 100% of the work. So we're going to put the full amount in here. We're going to bill against that as well. So now that we have all of the amounts that we are billing under this period, we're going to go up here to this drop-down menu, and we're going to click Set as Pending Supplier Input. And then we're going to click Set as Submitted because we would like for this to go to review as soon as possible. Now we're going to send an email to our PM to let them know that we are submitting it.
All right, now that we are at the point in the project where I, as the contractor, need to create a pay application, I'm going to come back to the Cost tab again under Pay Apps and Invoices and click Create. Select my contract, and you can see that we already have some billing periods created. I can manage those by clicking onto the drop-down menu and clicking Manage Billing Periods, and if they're not previously set up, it will prompt you to do so. So I'm going to go ahead and create my first pay application for this billing period of March 2026. And here I can see the schedule of values and all the associated values that we had planned out at the beginning of the contract. I'd like to export in this Excel file and see those values as opposed to doing it how we previously saw the architect do it. But I want to remember that if there are any change orders associated with this contract, I have to be sure to add them in. Now we can see this change order and the associated values that it has adjusted inside of this change order column. Now I can export the Excel file. And I can see all of those values present here. And the change order is still listed at the bottom whenever we do this via Excel, as opposed to being viewed in line how we saw it on the other page. But this gives me the opportunity to fill out my pay application in Excel format so that I can see the original scheduled value, anything that we've billed against, and then what the balance will be at the end. All right. And now that I've filled in the values inside of these yellow columns, I can go ahead and close this payment application. And now I can come back to the same area and re-import that Excel file in its finished version. Click import. And now I can see that those values have populated here. Additionally, I'll want to attach any backup documentation. So if I click with the line item that's associated with my contract, I can scroll down as we did before. You can see that that change order is still associated with this pay application. I can also go ahead and attach any documents. I can upload them from my computer or from Autodesk Docs if it's something that I've delivered before. So I'm just going to attach this example pay application backup documentation. I'm also going to do my project manager a favor and generate the document template that's associated with this pay app in its draft form. So if you click add document and generate from document template and click contractor pay app, or if you're the AE or CM, click the AE or CM invoice, it will go ahead and generate the file that shows all of this information, including the change order, the values, and everything necessary to get your pay application attached. And now both of those documents are available for the next reviewer. So once I've done that and made sure again that all of my values are correct and that this covers all of the information that needs to be associated with this pay application, I can go ahead and click set as pending supplier input and then set it as submitted. And it's going to send it back to the next person in the review, which is the architect.
After the vendor submits their invoice or pay app for review, the emails are sent to notify the approvers. You can check on the status of the workflow at any time by coming back, navigating back to the pay apps and invoices and seeing the status. You can also click on the pay app and you will see all of the steps that are involved in the workflow. As you can see, this first step is the architect review, and we are waiting on the architect to review it. After the architect reviews it, it will go to the project manager to review, then the cost manager, and then it will be sent to the UF financial payment system for processing, and we will mark it as executed in ACC.